Your life.
What's up, bitches? Welcome to the second edition of Bitch with Comrade Misty. I am Comrade Misty. Very excited to have my dude, Steve Poikonen, with me. I was going to go solo today, and then Steve came up in my Twitter feed, and I thought I would really like to bitch with my dude. So here he is. So thank you, Steve, for coming on last minute to bitch with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We've been trying to schedule anyway.
Yeah.
So honestly, my world is pretty upside down and hectic right now. So short notice is usually better.
All right. Well, let's bitch about that, man. What the fuck's going on, dude? You do have a lot going on. You're trying to relocate. You're gonna have to move. You got kids. You have to run around to all kinds of practices and shit. You're trying to run a show, trying to do vigils, trying to organize actions. Do you ever sleep, my friend?
Poorly. And normally in fits, like extended cat naps, right? But until my body just shuts down. Right. Yeah. And then I'll be out for 14 hours and then be tired for 3 days. And then it'll sort of kind of build back to this semi-manageable chaos.
Right.
Until all of a sudden I've been, doing 20 hours a day for 3 weeks. And it's ooh.
Yeah, and you're one of those annoying morning people too.
But I'm not, dude. I'm not cussing and kicking.
That's true. You're not super chipper.
I'm not awake enough to be mad yet. I don't, I don't wake up angry. I try really.
I wake up pissed
really
off because I had to get up. I like to sleep, and waking up makes me angry. And for the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes that I'm awake, I am not pleased about it at all. Once I'm awake, once I'm moving, I've shuffled to the bathroom, grunting about how annoyed I am. And I maybe come downstairs and feed cats and start. Once I move a little bit, I'm better. But at least a good 30 minutes, dude. Don't talk to me. Just don't fucking talk to me.
Okay, but morning people throw that shit in your face, dude, and I don't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't.
I just find any morning person annoying because I kind of wish I was one. It's really just jealousy because I wish I could wake up and be okay and not be a raging bitch for 45 minutes to an hour or 30 minutes or whatever it is.
The amount of shit that I have personally had to go through in my life, waking up in the morning. No, dude. I'm in the bonus round,
Yeah.
I
get it. I get it. Yeah.
So, I get it. I'm not going to be mad yet. I'll get mad quick. That can happen. This morning when I woke up and the first thing that I saw was they're trying to give Julian the jab, and not just any, but the AstraZeneca one, which
my heart stopped.
Extensive reporting on. And Stella is getting ran through the ringer for asking the question because her partner believes in informed consent and is limited where he is to be able to actually obtain and achieve any informed consent.
And she's just terrible for even asking, and she's getting railroaded for it, which is fucking ridiculous. And you know what? I honestly can't even believe that they're considering it because it's not we don't know that they had plans to poison this dude. There's been multiple plots and plans to kidnap him. There were jokes made about droning him. No, dude, you're not sticking shit in my arm. No way. Who knows what they will be injecting into him? I wouldn't trust them under no circumstances.
And he already has a number of health issues.
Mm-hmm.
None, including a lung problem, which again, counterintuitive to give someone an experimental drug where one of the side effects are the symptoms of the thing, which
the thing you have.
respiratory infection failure.
Yeah.
So perhaps we should think this through a little bit. But I mean, look, dude, there was a pretty prominent I don't know, pretty prominent member of like that sphere in that thread, hella uppity, and was all fucking, well, I'll be first in line for whatever the NHS gives me.
Yeah, that's a little weird to me, but that's a whole other thing. Oh, here, before we go any further, I have to share this picture with you guys, because it's fucking awesome. And it made me very happy today. There we go. There it is. Is it showing up? Did I do it right?
Yeah.
There it is. That's how I feel. You know, that's like mood. Kaylee, my girl Kaylee, tweeted that out today. Just mood. Damn straight. That is really just my mood. Like all the time. There it is. Oh boy. Yeah, this whole the shot thing with Julian freaked me the fuck out when I woke up this morning. You know, because I mean, whatever, call me a conspiracy theorist. It's not like we don't have an abundance of evidence that there have been plots and plans and thoughts about executing this guy. But yeah, like no way are you injecting shit into me. And I get like, that's just me. Like that was my reaction. It's up to Julian, obviously, informed consent, whatever he wants to do or whatever he thinks is best. But he deserves to be informed. And he's kind of being, you know, arbitrarily detained in a supermax prison for the crime of doing journalism right now. So he doesn't have access to the internet or newspapers or Dr. Fauci or any of this shit. So yeah, that shit pisses me off.
A real convenient way to kill the guy.
What?
It just seems like a real convenient way to kill the guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like we've been talking about this for a long time. The fact that they haven't let him out when they know that he has an underlying lung condition and that it's potentially very dangerous for him if, you know, he happens to get a respiratory illness, that it could be very, very bad for him. And they're just keeping him in there. They're not even going to offer him bail, nothing. You know, and really all that he's just in there because the United States says so. There's no like charges, like there's an appeal, but there's no like in the UK, nothing that he should be being held for really. So yeah, I've been trying to say, we've been watching a slow motion execution, this whole time. And that's what it is. This is an execution in slow fucking motion. Take a look, watch it. Don't turn away. Because that's what you're watching. That's what if you're not speaking out against it, you are complicit in that, in the torture of a journalist to death for exposing more crimes. That's legit what's happening. That's as simple as it gets. You know, it's weird to me that it's still fucking weird to me, dude, that this isn't a bigger issue, especially with all the other shit that we have going on, the anti-protest bills and all kinds of, I mean,
what about 500,000 people in the street in the UK for an anti-lockdown protest and
nobody's
zero media fucking covering it, and everybody in the West pretending like it's just not happening all over the world, where people are standing up saying no to fucking techno tyranny, to lockdowns, and fucking trying to reclaim a little bit of agency.
Yeah.
And there's just so Derek Bros, who we were fortunate enough to finally sit down with at the beginning of on Monday. And big shout out to Derek and the Conscious Resistance and everything that they're doing over there. But like we were kind of just, I mean, it's wild. It's wild. I lost my train of thought gassing up Derek. I'm sorry.
That's really okay. But no, like Glory tweeted today that she was trying to share, I think it was a Whitney article.
Yeah, no, I remember Derek was like, hey, look, if 500,000 people or half a million people turned up for a protest and nobody was there to cover it, did it really happen? Like, if this isn't working, what are we going to do along with? Like, protests aren't enough. There's some other shit that needs to happen. What's it going to be? And you're absolutely right, dude. Ministry of Truth fucking woke up this morning and decided that Whitney Webb was the wrong thing.
Yes. And not only that, the Washington Post put out a thing saying that they're done with the fact checking of the president. Like they're not like keeping a tracker of it anymore. It's like they're not even pretending. Like they're not like they didn't just not say anything and just stop doing it. Like they talked about it out loud. Like they're just openly saying, we're fucking with you at this point. Like we're just going to pretend like Joe Biden, the only thing important to talk about are scrunchies and dogs that poop in hallways and cardboard cutout hearts on the White House lawn. And that's all you're going to get to hear about. And that's really what's happening. Like, I mean, tonight I think he said he was going to raise the minimum wage for federally contracted employees to $15 an hour. First of all, I think most of them already make $15 an hour who work in like a federal contracting job. So that's really not doing jack shit. Second of all, what the fuck about everybody else, my dude?
So I did the math on that yesterday. If you don't mind, I'll try and find that tweet.
Yeah, go ahead.
And show, because it's roughly like 158 million out of the 160 million people in the labor force that get left out by Joe Biden making that statement. And the way that he here we go. So
the way he phrased it was fucked up.
Yeah.
It's gaslighting 101.
Boop, boop, boop.
Actually, we should clarify. Joe Biden didn't make that tweet.
Right.
Somebody else did.
But yeah, so he says, I believe no one should work full time and still live in poverty. That's why today I raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour for people working on federal contracts. That is, I looked, at least at the end of 2020, it was 2.1 million people under federal contract total. Now, there's a couple of different things to note there, but we'll get to that in a second because the current size of the U.S. labor force, 160.58 million. Yeah.
Way to go, Joe. Thanks so much, buddy.
With the where he says, y'all gonna raise the minimum or raise it to $15 an hour, like you were saying, that most federal contractors make more, and the ones that don't, they're salaried, so they don't count as hourly employees,
right?
So they won't even be getting a raise off of this unless they get a COLA off of their salary, which may or may not happen depending on how this was written.
Yeah. And isn't this a guy who already said that he was against the $15 an hour minimum wage, like the federal minimum wage to be 15? I'm pretty sure he said that at some point. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure he said he was against that, as well as saying that he would veto Medicare for all. And I still can't believe that dude said that while the campaign was still going on in the middle of a pandemic and still got elected. And people are still pretending like it's a good thing that Joe Biden's president. Are you kidding? That's sociopath. Like that's a level of psychopathy that that's terrifying. Everybody should be like, forget Jeffrey Dahmer. Like that's somebody you should be worried about. Joe Biden. Do you hear this cat?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to tell because
I do.
There's a couple outside the studio that are loud as fuck. So
right. She's ridiculous.
I always think that's gonna bleed in.
Yeah. No. Anyways, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's president. I don't even know what to say about that.
We had Vanessa Beeley on a few months back, and ended up titling the episode "This is exactly what you voted for," because it was right after Biden decided to bomb Syria again. And in December, Vanessa Beeley had written about what she referred to as the Trump-Biden doctrine on Israel. And since Israel has just been allowed to run roughshod over Syria, they attacked an Iranian tanker bringing fuel to Syria because Syria can't provide fuel for its own citizens because the United States has occupied a third of its oil fields. and at least Trump was like, yeah, we're there for the oil. At least Neera Tanden was like, yeah,
Right.
we're there for the oil.
Yeah.
You know,
I like the honesty. I like the honesty. Just just be upfront about your scumbaggery, you know? Like, just put that shit on the table. Then I know what I'm dealing with, you know? I mean, I can at least respect that. Just put it out there on the table. Like Trump telling everybody, yeah, we're going to take their oil. Like, I appreciate, like, I can at least respect the honesty. Although I don't think that he's even, like, not, like, he has no, like, awareness of the fact that he just accidentally told the truth. He just has no filter, and he has no gift for subtlety, and he just blurts shit out. He's kind of like, I do that too, I guess. But he was like a whole other level.
You heard it here, folks. Misty Winston just confirmed that her and Donald Trump are exactly alike.
Have you ever seen us in the same room? We could be the exact same person. I could be Donald Trump. I have a Putin mask. How do we know that I'm not really a Misty mask on top of a Trump face?
Boom. I
don't mean to freak you guys out. Could be. I am Mindy Moneybags.
Who's more dangerous? Who's more of a threat? To you, the person who's like, who are you more prepared for? Let's put it that way.
Well,
the person who says, I would like to kill you. I don't think that you're a human being. I think that you're an insect, and I think you should be crushed.
Mm-hmm.
That person, or the person that's like, hey, buddy,
I'm your friend. I'm here for you. I hear you. I see you.
I know things are tough right now, but I'm about to be on the come up. So if you just throw me some bucks, I'll make sure that when I bring
you with me,
get my shit, you can ride with me.
Yeah. Oh, it's so gross. And the wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, I don't know why people did y'all not read any fairy tales when you were young? The wolf in sheep's clothing is always more dangerous than the wolf. Every time, never fails. So I am far more concerned about an AOC or a Bernie Sanders or any number of progressive phonies than I am about some Republican who I know what I'm getting. I know exactly what I'm getting. I know exactly who they are. There's no mystery whatsoever.
And
like, I know,
The nice thing about that, though, is the AOC has shown everybody who she is.
No, she's still got this unbelievable amount of hanger-ons.
Well, and there's a whole new crop of like shit libs that have come on board. Like the K-Hive,
love her now.
That troll farm, that will belong to her. By the time
it already does. Like the people that are freaks about her on Twitter and like run around defending her it's get a life.
I guess that's the G-Hive, but
yeah.
G-Hive lives don't matter. I would like to further, because I haven't said that, I just haven't been on the show.
Yeah.
So
I've only been on it twice.
G-Hive lives don't matter.
Yeah, that's a true thing. That's definitely. Fuck that guy. I hate to even like say his name or give him any attention whatsoever because he is an unbelievable scumbag. And I think that's what he wants. I think he like just needs the attention and the drama. Clearly, like all he does all day is follow people around on Twitter that he doesn't like so that he can cherry pick their tweets to find something to like manufacture outrage over. Whoa. Buy a fucking plant.
Dude, a job like that pays. It does. It has been...
I know, but that's just
been the Democrats' media strategy for 4 years now.
Well, then just own it, dude. Just own it. Say, I'm a DNC bitch and own it. And, whatever. I don't give a shit what you think about me or say about me. And you depend on the ignorance and the idiocy of your followers to even get any traction. So, fuck that guy. Well, seriously. And his whole little merry band of morons.
Everybody that plays that game where their show is confirmation bias porn for disaffected Bernie Sanders voters, and it's their job to, like, gin up outrage and fucking, like, set people up in interviews and go find a dupe so they can discredit an entire large group of people based on that one person in order to score cheap political points on behalf of a party that doesn't give a fuck about them.
No. That's what's so embarrassing.
Show. That's the lane you want to be in 2021.
Yeah.
That's your show.
I feel embarrassed for people like that, honestly. Like you're out here being a useful idiot against like regular people, defending these assholes who have actual power to make changes, and you're like making excuses for them and justifications. People are dying, and you're out here like, oh, you know, AOC doesn't understand, or she's new, or she's young. Fuck off, dude. People are dying. And instead of holding those people accountable and, you know, like maybe calling attention to their absolute lack of any urgency whatsoever to any of the things that they claim to stand for, instead of doing that, you hate stock, literally stock. Like, this is stalking. If like 85% of your timeline is you talking about other people, you like other, like just regular people, you have a problem. Like, that's not normal. I have no power. Ryan Knight has no power. Jimmy Dore has no power. Like, he's a comedian. Like, I'm some schmuck in Ohio. Like,
I
really?
would say that both of those people have influence.
Well, sure, but influence means jack shit. In politics, like what they're supposed to affect change with that. Like, you really think Jimmy Dore can affect change in Congress or in legislation?
No, but he can be a great, like, some scapegoat, something to point
yeah, but that's
at.
what I mean, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's it, though. That these people are scumbags. Like, you're spending all of your time seriously just following people around who have no money, no power. They have no ability to make any real change for anybody. And you're doing that instead of, you know, trying to hold politicians who have an immense amount of power and influence and money. And instead of holding them accountable, you're defending them, making excuses and trashing other like regular people. It's really pretty gross, you know, like,
but again, that's somebody's gig, like, right. And that's the fucked up thing. Like, that person is being paid to do that. And
I think that there are some of them who are just like wrapped up in being part of the crew, and I don't think they're getting paid. I just think that they're not bright enough to catch on.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But in like the interest of, like, I don't know, maybe clarifying what's happening here, is that the dude that we're discussing is a professional paid stalker,
I guess,
poster, smear merchant. That is an operative, Jeff Campbell, that we are putting on blast for his job, which is to discredit people who are trying to affect genuine change. Just to
poorly, by the way,
up for the dude in the chat who thinks that, like, there's
I'm even paying attention to the chat. I'm so good at this
going on because we're talking about some shit. Like, I don't know, dude. Do people not understand that your show is called Bitch with Comrade Misty? And
are you talking about this FTW guy? Like, that's probably Jeff.
Or it may be. It may be. That's fine. You know? I mean, it could be.
Geoff lives don't fucking matter.
Geoff lives don't matter.
Stalk me. Like, they stalk my timeline. So if I tweeted that we were going live, then absolutely they saw it, and they probably screenshot it and then shared it around their little group DMs. And now they're going to come troll the chat. That's what they do. This is their life. Can you imagine being that pathetic? Because I cannot imagine being that pathetic. Truly. Like, that, it makes me sad. Like, I'm sad for you.
Some straight up little dick energy, dude. Like,
it is little dick energy. It's painfully pathetic.
You're gonna have to say it again. Fucking the problem with left and right, the independent media, is that it has been dominated by little dick energy. And that's why these little fucks freak the fuck out whenever a real one shows up, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's nothing but little bitch behavior from little dick energy. Fucking
I mean, it says everything. They have to lie constantly.
Like, why would you do that? Why would you?
Because you think that you're temporarily embarrassed, like, elite.
Yeah.
And you think that you can get in good with these people who don't give a fuck about you. Oh God. No, it's like these baby brain dupes
waiting in line to get used as fucking toilet paper by sociopaths and pedophiles.
But they might get an
because they
invitation to the
think
party,
they might
Steve.
get one little lick at the brass ring.
Mhm.
And no.
It's so bad. Oh, it's so
That's
bad.
I mean,
That's
or
what I'm saying, man. I just feel bad for them. Honestly.
You could organize,
Do something, anything,
attack system.
literally anything. Go do something of substance. If you want to like call your representatives, if you want to write letters, if you want to organize an event, if you want to start a nonprofit, whatever the fuck you want to do, stop hate stalking people on Twitter and finding things to be pissy about, all of which you lie and gaslight and fabricate and manipulate. Like you take tweets out of context and pretend you take people out of context. People trying to call Magnus a Nazi. Magnus isn't a Nazi. Like, I don't know Magnus that well, but he's not a fucking Nazi. He's like anti-war, anti-establishment. He's kind of an anarchist, a little bit of libertarian probably. And I mean, he's just a dude. And, you know, the Boogaloo Boys are what they are. It's a newer group. I'm sure there are lots of racists, but guess what, homies? There are racists on the left. So fuck off. No group is perfect. Every group has their assholes.
So.
I take people as an individual case-by-case basis. And that's the end of the story for that. Like, just stop it. It's so fucking annoying. Get over yourself.
The racism on the left is concentrated in all of the positions of power. Straight up.
Yeah.
Especially like when you get to the like, you know, the congressional level or the NGO level or the think tank level or in academia. That's where identity politics is weaponized and reduced to its most demeaning form. That's where you find people advocating on behalf of the empire.
Yeah.
Where we go be racist as fuck as we rain down death from drones on all sorts of fucking black and brown people all over the globe.
Yeah. Well, with BLM in your bio.
Natural resources, so we can then profit from the exploitation of other black and brown laborers as they produce that. Nothing is more fucking racist than that. Nothing.
No.
An entire economy based on fucking white supremacy that you're defending.
Yes. This I tweeted about this the other day. People are mad at Jimmy Dore for interviewing a Boogaloo boy while they're simping for AOC, who literally like supports and endorses authoritarianism, imperialism, and war criminals. Literal war criminals. She's defending them. She's gaslighting for them. She's telling you to
John
vote for them.
McCain was a good man.
Yeah,
he was a good man.
John McCain is a example of human decency or some bullshit, and you're more mad at Jimmy Dore than you are at that. There's something wrong with you. There's something fucking wrong with you when a comedian can't interview some dude who gave a speech, but you're gonna let your congressperson go out and gaslight you for war criminals and support coups and illegal bombings and where children are killed. Fuck off. Like, fuck off. You need to re-examine your priorities in life. Like, I'm so tired. And I guaranteed every time BLM in the bio. Every time BLM in the bio. You don't want to talk about Syria, though. You don't want to talk about the black and brown people in Syria who are getting bombed right now illegally by Israel. But it's cool for AOC to go hit up Israel for some Green New Deal tech. That's fine. You're fine with that. It's okay that she's doing that, despite the fact that they're currently committing genocide on Palestinians and they're illegally bombing Syria. Fuck off. I'm so sick of these dumb douche canoes. Seriously. See, this is good. I feel better already. This is good.
But Misty,
like
the tech from that particular apartheid state is going to help usher in a whole new, not a world order, because that's a dead phrase.
Right.
Now it's new global governance, which is totally less spooky.
Yeah.
What up,
Yeah.
Daryl?
Hi, Daryl.
Daryl.
Daryl. It's my dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's going to usher in her Green New Deal, which is a bullshit corporate giveaway any damn way, that doesn't even address imperialism. The word fracking isn't mentioned one fucking time, and I'm supposed to pretend like this is some great, environmental, fuck off again. Like, these people don't really, that's what you're defending? Look around you. Like, what kind of privilege does it take to look around the world right now and be accepting of that and cheerlead that? And no.
Again, if it's your job,
right,
to make sure that people stay voting Democrat, then it's your job to make sure that you never think about shit like that, and that your whole gig is just punch down, punch left, punch right.
Hey, you should give me mod, Misty.
Are we gonna boot this douche canoe?
I don't know. I want to have some fun if they keep.
I think we should. Like, they'll come at me and tell me I'm censoring them, and I'm a free speech warrior, but I'm censoring them. I'm not fucking censoring you.
Well, see, if I'm a mod, then I can just say I didn't want to fucking see it. Go bug Jimmy Dore or someone else. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of our chat, you piece of shit.
Okay, hold on. I don't know how the fuck to do that, Sleepy. I'm so stupid.
I'll teach you after the show.
All right, cool.
Oh my God, that actually might be Jeff. Only a fucking idiot would be like, "It's so screw it, let's do nothing and save the planet until it meets a pure and ideological metric that you folks decide."
This show is literally called Bitch with Comrade Misty. It's for bitching. If you don't want to see it, fucking
you do
leave.
Realize that nobody's forcing you to be here. Like, you don't have to be here, fuckface.
And you dumb fuck, you child, you intentionally, willfully stupid little critter. You're never going to hear people, at least on this show or on this side of the conversation, advocate nothing, you simple fuck.
Yeah.
My God, man. Here's what we don't do, though. What we don't do is arrange the Green New Deal to where the U.S. military is never addressed, fracking is never addressed, fucking, what was the other neat thing? It's a non-binding resolution in the first fucking place. They wrote it so that only the end user gets punished on the carbon tax. The end user being me or you or Misty, Sleepy Josh, not the actual polluters or the people that create the most CO2. So it isn't that we don't want something to happen.
Yeah. Like, we need something, not this bullshit, watered down, corporatized nonsense that's not going to do anything. It's not going to make anything better.
Shitbirds know that. They do.
Yes.
They know that.
Yeah. And if you don't, that's not my fucking problem. Like, go educate yourself and then come back and we'll have a conversation. But no. Seriously. Oh.
But
seriously,
no, we need to go to forever war over lithium and rare earth minerals because AOC is a goddess. Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's painful, dude. It's painful. Like,
the whole world of actual environmental solutions await you when you stop licking corporate assholes.
Come on, they have our best interests at heart, really. I mean, they're not bad people. I'm sure that everything will be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured it out. Oh, Sleepy, can you send me your thing for moderator? Do I need that?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, just get out your phone and click on his name, and it'll give you the option.
Oh, I'm doing it on the computer, so I don't know. It's probably your usual name, though, isn't it?
No, you might have to search it by my email. Hold on.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, these I don't understand. Oh, hey, Cynic. I love Cynic. Cynic's great. She's a huge Jessie Jet fan, and I love Jessie Jet, so we chat about Jessie all the time. Okay, so yeah, hey, chat. Other than that, douche canoe, because we've already heard enough from him. If you guys have something you would like to bitch about, you should put it in the chat, and Steve and I can hash out some shit. Oh, there was what the fuck was somebody wanted me to talk about? Oh, it's gonna hurt my brain. Oh, we kind of talked about it a little bit at or on the vigil last night. The rehabilitation of war criminals. I mean, they've got like a literal terrorist on, what was it, PBS?
Yeah.
PBS like in a nice little suit, and he's given an interview like he's a literal like head chopper. What the fuck is happening?
And they basically gave him a man bun and threw some beard oil at him and put him in a suit. Gave him some like a little extra mascara, bring out those eyes.
Yeah, he's really a nice guy. Really, I'm sure.
Like tight one shots up there where he's like, so really, what is even terrorism? I mean, that's not like what we're here to do, bruh. Yeah.
No, I mean,
we're Al-Qaeda in Syria. We're different.
Yeah. W was on, was it Jimmy Kimmel or something?
Oh,
Jimmy
probably.
Kimmel? I get him and Jimmy Fallon confused a lot because I don't pay attention to either of them, so I'm not really sure which one's which. But
I think Jimmy Fallon's the one that's still on cocaine that bites titties.
Oh, see, I didn't even know about this.
Jimmy Fallon.
What the fuck is happening with that?
Jimmy Kimmel is the one who Sarah Silverman divorced and then put on blast after he made sure that she had like 17 shows.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that.
Silverman, who famously
she dated the other guy.
Room full of people who had verifiable evidence that they had been both robbed and cheated to grow up. That's Sarah Silverman.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Stood there with Al Franken, and then threw Al Franken under the bus like a year later. Not even a year later, like 9 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The woman, by the way, made her living off of making the most vulgar humor she could come up with.
The Al Franken thing, I honestly
threw Al Franken under the bus.
Yeah, the Al Franken thing. I mean, that to me was not. I don't know why he resigned.
Because I don't know, man.
I don't know. I found it gross personally.
I mean, it depends. Like, I don't really know, like, what they're like, because I had guy friends growing up that would have been, because he didn't really touch her, did he? He didn't touch her.
I think it was hands on the bulletproof vest, is what it was.
Okay. Okay.
But I guarantee you, that's what was allowed to go out versus what they had on Franken. Because Franken's been part of the machine since the fucking 70s.
Yeah.
Like, he came out of Harvard like during the time the Church Commission was going on, and he goes to be a writer for Saturday Night Live, where the entire time there's not a single joke about fucking surveillance. They do soft, safe jokes about the president, not the current president, but the previous one. You know, edgy stuff in terms of like conversations going on about race, as long as you weren't watching any television the previous 25 years. But yeah, dude, I mean, SNL is fucking, it was like the premier comedy narrative management show for, I mean, it's still supposed to be, but that's where
nobody watches it. It's so bad.
That's where Franken comes from.
Yeah.
And then he spends like the first part of his post SNL career doing narrative management for the Democratic Party from the perspective of humor writer. And okay, dude, I'll admit, I saw a copy of Lies and the Lying Liars, I think was the book. And there were some funny bits in there about like Bill O'Reilly and Sean Han. But I mean, just absolutely no holding the lens to his own team whatsoever. Because that's not what his job was. His job was to do narrative management. So if that's your career and you're coming from SNL in the fucking 70s when everybody was doing incredibly naughty things with like very, very famous and very, very well connected people that they were not supposed to be with, like, chances are hands on titties on the outside of a bulletproof vest was not the most compromising thing they had on him. And
that's fair.
He almost got out of it because the woman who had the photo evidence was a right-winger.
Oh.
It wasn't until members of the Senate, female members of the Senate, came out after that started to get away from him, because the interwebs were totally ready to give him a pass because it was a right-winger accusing him.
That's so
Gillibrand and a couple other women came out and were like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, like so that's the whole team thing, and if my team does it, it's okay. That's so fucking gross. And there are a lot of people who work under that like theory of thought. The fact that you're willing to vote for Joe Biden, who's a rapist, credibly accused, and not only that, dude is at best physically inappropriate with young children. And that's best case scenario. Like what he does is not okay to those little girls. And the fact that you're willing to vote for that and then trash people who voted for Trump because he's a rapist, and really, the hypocrisy is astounding. The things that, like, you see Alyssa Milano outside the Kavanaugh hearing crying, and we believe women, and she's got like her little sign, and she's in the courtroom and she's crying and she's acting like she's some great feminist hero. And then meanwhile, she doesn't have shit to say about Bill Clinton's victims or Joe Biden's victims. Not a word. In fact, she's tweeted out before how much she loves Bill Clinton, like a lot. Like that was her wording, like a lot. I love you, Bill Clinton, like a lot. And then she's like doing fundraisers for Joe Biden and, getting her picture taken with him at parties. And really, that's so gross. Like that, just some intellectual consistency would be nice. If it's bad when one side does it, then it should be bad when all sides do it, especially when it comes to shit like that. Christ, like, what is wrong with you that you've let your brain get manipulated into this binary way of thinking that your team is always right and that team is always wrong?
If you're open to the fact that there are multiple genders, why is politics binary for you? If you're open to the fact that there are multiple paths to a spiritual understanding, why is politics binary to you? If you're open to the fact that like more than one genre of music can be enjoyed equally, like, why is this a concept you can't get over? Like, why? I'm asking, and I'm not trying to like demean anyone in the process. I think it's a good thing that people don't think in terms of binaries like that. I don't. Glory Jones, I can hear you. I can. Glory Jones, just telepathically. Glory Jones would like me to talk about the other week when T-Lab
Glory Jones, get in here.
And said that only cis deal in absolutes because Glory is a Star Wars nerd, and it tickled her nerd bone. It did. So you're welcome, Jones. For you, Glory Jones, my better than your co-host. On May the 4th, we will be talking to Sky Daddy, who is also a sci-fi nerd. So we will. You're welcome. You're all welcome, because that's going to be a fucking amazing show, dude.
Glory Jones says only a Sith deals in absolutes. All right. So Camila, or I don't know what the fuck your name is, and FTW. Nobody has ever, none of us, I've never said it, Steve's never said it, Jimmy Dore never said it. Nobody has said that we should be like working with Boogaloo Boys, fam. Nobody has said that ever. I am skeptical. Dude. Go ahead.
From everything that I know about
you compose yourself.
The Boogaloo Boys writ large, the first thing they are is decentralized.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing they are is decentralized. And then the third thing they are is gun freaks who really need their dads to tell them they love them. Okay? That, like, I guarantee you there are shit birds that put on a Hawaiian shirt and
we just went over this.
I guarantee you. But if you look, dude, if you honestly think that in many cases, not even affiliated outside of name, commitment to beards, Hawaiian shirts, and open carry firearms, if you really think that one of those people speaks for the lot of them, please come talk to me, because I would like to become your weed dealer. I would like to become your carpenter. I would like to become your bridge salesman. I would like to do your books.
Yes.
Come to me. Hit me up directly. I got stuff I would really like to talk to you about. I do not pretend to speak for groups that I'm not a part of. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm saying by their own fucking words, everywhere they state them, none of those dudes are trying to speak for each other. I have seen, I do go play around in those threads for a bit. Like, it's fucking seriously. If you are the father of a son who is a Boogaloo Boy, please tell your son you love him. Give him a hug. Go fishing or something. Go take him out shooting. It'll make his day.
And
really
bond.
Will.
Yeah.
Like do that shit. Do that shit. But at the same time, man, like, get the fuck over yourself, you goddamn Muppet, for assuming that group in particular is homogenous. Like,
it's a ridiculous notion.
And at the same time, dude, I'm not going to think that Magnus represents more than Magnus. As a Boogaloo Boy, as an individual, I guarantee you that he's probably an exception when he goes to the fucking events too. But I don't know what the middle is, because you guys, when you fucking do this shit, you can point to like one or two things that may or may not have actually been an actual Boogaloo that did the fucking thing that you're crying about. And then one thing that I always hear from the quote unquote progressives, who usually have that BLM and the ACAB in their fucking bio, is that there was a Boogaloo Boy that killed 2 federal agents.
Voted for a fucking rapist. They voted for a fucking rapist, dude. And you know what? I've got a bitch.
Not those 2 feds? Those
okay, wait. Sleepy's got a bitch. Let's hear from Sleepy.
We're allowed to talk to people with different points of view than us, so we can understand their point of view. It does not mean we agree with their point of view. Get the fuck over yourself. Shit.
This is the little dick energy, though. This is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, because the fucking Nat's dick on a cold day motherfucker that types that shit knows that their ideology is weak and knows that they are a weak person. And knows that they would be susceptible to any argument as long as it got repeated to them enough, because they lack the fucking character to stand on their convictions, because their convictions don't even fucking belong to them.
Thank you. That's what this comes down to. They always say, oh, they're trying to infiltrate the movement. Well, I know what the fuck I stand for. I know who I am. Nobody's going to like secretly sneak in and turn me into a Nazi. That's not going to happen because I know who the fuck I am. And if you don't and you're worried about that, then okay, great. Stay at home in your safe space. But those of us who are willing to go have conversations with people we don't agree with, of which there are fucking many. There's nobody I agree with 100% of the time. I don't even agree with myself 100% of the time. Like, you need to take a step back and think about things, especially, I'm going to bitch about this again, white people. If you are brushing off the responsibility of having those conversations when you have the privilege and capability of walking into white spaces and having those conversations, you're not a fucking ally. That's our responsibility, period, end of story. Those are conversations we should be having with our family members, with our friends, with the people around us in our neighborhoods and communities, because that's our problem. That's what we have to contend with and what we have to deal with. So people brushing that responsibility off. And listen, if you're not big enough to be able to have, and I'm not saying you have to go to a party and hang out with some KKK members. I'm saying there's a lot of space in between Bernie Sanders and KKK. There's a lot of people in here that you could be having conversations with and trying to change minds and get people to where we are working together towards the real problem, which is the establishment, whatever you want to call it, the system, whatever you want to call it. None of your conversations about economic ideologies or any of the other bullshit matters until we deal with the problem. We have to work together for that to happen. And again, I'm not saying you have to go pal up with, actual Nazis. I'm saying that there are a lot, you can't just say 75 million Trump voters are all irredeemable racists.
There's a lot in
That's
between.
ridiculous. There's a lot of in between. There's a lot of gray area there. And as a white person, especially, if you are a cis heterosexual white person and you are just brushing off the responsibility of going into those spaces and trying to make a difference, then fuck off. Like, you're not an ally. You're not an ally to your black comrades and your comrades of color. You're not a fucking ally. That's our job. That's part of what that's part of how we make things better. And if you're not big enough to have those conversations, if you don't have the strength of will, strength of character to have those conversations, that's fine. Stop shitting on people who are willing to do that work, because it's necessary work and it's important work and it needs to be done. That's the only way things are going to change. Because I don't know if you guys know this, ignoring problems doesn't make them go away. You can't pretend racists don't exist and they'll just disappear. You have to combat racism with thoughts, with feelings, with words. You have to have conversations, uncomfortable conversations with people you don't agree with. That's part of being a grown-up. Either do it or get the fuck out of the way. Sorry.
No, you're right. Lead, follow, get the fuck out of the way. That's where we're at.
I'm over it, dude.
That's where we're at. And here's the thing, man. Like, if you've ever seen me, if you've ever seen anything I've been on in the last 3 years, if you'd ever ran into me at any on the ground event over the last 25, where people gather for actual change, not for a pat on the back and some fucking Twitter followers, then you would know. I'm advocating for post-partisan, on-the-ground activism, because we don't get to talk about politics or policy or how we get there or why the fuck we base what left and right is off of where the French Parliament sat in the 1780s. Like, we don't get to do that until we secure at least a handful of our first freedoms. And we do not have those right now.
I mean, it's even more basic than that. Like, these people act like they're going to get all these progressive changes. With what people? You've canceled half the fucking quote-unquote left, and you've canceled the whole fucking right. You don't have enough people to fucking throw together a couple dozen people to do a protest.
I don't think these people actually want change, Sleepy. I honestly don't. I think they're more worried about being able to sit smugly in their safe space and feel superior to others. I think that's all they care about. They want to feel like they're right and they're moral and they're correct and they have the proper position, and anything outside of that, they don't want to.
Here's a fucking gold star. Here's your fucking gold star.
Which again is why they're so scared of having conversations with people that don't agree with, because they know that those opinions aren't theirs. They don't have a worldview of their own. They have a lifestyle that they have, bought off of a shelf or purchased off of a fucking clothing rack. and they've watched all the right videos and now have the talking points down and can navigate an ever increasingly shrinking lane of communication.
They're
Because
surface level thinkers.
but at best,
At yes.
best, the fucking and just uncritical
Hipster
parodies
liberals.
of bullshit 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Unserious,
You can't even
fucking
have
childish, never done a genuine hard day's work in their lives, fucking like just little fucking children. It's why Stoller hit a nerve when he said that those DSA progressives were frightened authoritarian children. He hit a nerve when he said that.
Because he's right.
Because it landed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't agree with Matt Stoller on a lot, but
Matt
that
Stoller's
was
a
nail on the
piece of
head.
shit.
He is a piece of shit, but that he nailed the
Smart,
DSA.
paranoid, privileged, hypocritical fucking scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason whataboutism works and only works is when both parties are complete shitbirds. That's when whataboutism works, and that's why it lands when you go in knowing that the team or the people that you have personally fucking deified are shitbirds. It doesn't work if you're not trying to defend people. Politicians aren't your friends.
No, I don't know why. What the fuck has happened? We have they're celebrities.
You know what's happened.
No, I know.
What's happened.
I know what's happening, but this would be me bitching, Steve Poikonen. This is me bitching about it.
Trying to tee you up though.
Yeah, but seriously, what the fuck is happening? They're celebrities now. They're on the cover of Vogue magazine, and y'all are like fangirling for them and wearing their merch, and like it's unbelievable. These people are not your fucking friends. They were never meant to be your friends. The fact that you're pretending like they're on your side, y'all, they should be under the highest scrutiny every single day, all the time. And yes, the people who claim to be on your side should be under more scrutiny than the people who are against you. 100% every time, every fucking time, because those are the people who are supposed to be working for you. Those are the people who are supposed to be fighting for you. So those are the people you need to hold accountable constantly, all the time, to make sure that they're doing that, and to make sure that they're
in the street doing that. You're on Twitter
bitching about us.
Bitching about us.
You're really doing some great work over there, fams. Way to go. Your moms must be so proud. Your Twitter trolls. Yay. Good for you, fams.
Right.
Yeah, it's pathetic. That's pathetic.
What does Fee say? Buy a fucking plant or something like that?
Huh?
Doesn't Fee say something like buy a fucking plant or something like
that?
No, I say that.
Buy a plant.
Oh, it's you?
I said that.
I heard her say it recently.
Oh, they've totally adopted it. They have.
They did. They totally, yeah.
Both of them.
Good
job on that.
They love it. They love it. And like, they can have it. That's fine. I'm glad that they like, that was just another rant where I was just about these same shit wads. And I told them, do something, read a book, get a hobby, buy a plant, and really just do something, like go grow some food, start a community garden. Do like Rome's doing and go around and get donations and buy stuff at like the dollar store or whoever you can get the best deal for, and go around and hand out like, deodorant and feminine products and all that stuff to homeless people. Go do fucking something, organize an event, try to hold some politicians accountable for force the vote, or if you're not into force the vote because you hate Jimmy Dore, you're a douchebag, but you should also then just find something else. They told you you couldn't have forced the vote because $15 an hour is more doable. Then they shot the bed on that too, and you all just stood back and said nothing, made excuses and justifications. Fuck off. People are dying, and you're out here making excuses for the people who have the power to change it. Like, that's disgusting. You should really just feel pretty bad about yourself for doing that. That's gross. Sorry, but that's just the truth. Like, these are not good people. They're not people who are working for you. I don't care what kind of persona they put on and, how many IG lives they do talking about how they're fighting for you. Hello, they haven't done shit for you. Not a damn thing. Not a damn. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We did get funerals for some. It's means tested, and you have to like apply. and you have to prepay and then you might get reimbursed. But we did get funerals for some. You can't have Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic, but you can have funerals for some. So, it's fine. You just keep cheerleading that. That's a great plan. Fucking ridiculous. Seriously, I'm so tired of dealing with these children. And I get that they're paid and they're just trolls. And I'm going to have to deal with them regardless because that's what they get paid for.
Okay, but right now, here's something you can do instead of hate following Misty. You can start a community garden project. I did several years ago. And the one little, not little, but I fed a dozen families with it that year. But that spot has now become, I think, 8 spots now. and last year, more than 100 families were able to pretty routinely for a number of months be fed with what that project produced. And that's really 6 hours a week of my time. I mean,
but then Steve, who would keep the podcasters accountable?
I'm just saying, that's
really important work.
It really doesn't require a whole lot of personal commitment on your part, as long as you've got people in your community that will pitch in the same 6 hours, and you can quite literally feed dozens and dozens of people,
which we're gonna need.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, but shit's pretty bad.
Do
something. Anything.
You can. I mean, you can still hate follow people and shit. It's just it'll be a little bit harder when you actually do something to contribute, because you may have to rub up against someone that you don't particularly agree with 100%, because you're both doing something to help somebody out that you don't even know, just because it's the right thing to do. You find it a lot harder to hate that person.
Mm-hmm.
Based solely on your interpretation of how they think, because of what you have decided all people who voted one particular way think.
They're all the same. All terrible people, you just can't, not irredeemable. Nope. Throwaway people. Forget it. It's so stupid. You guys, I live in small town Ohio. I am literally surrounded by Trump voters. There's a guy who lives a mile down the road who still has this sign that he made, this huge ass sign that he has this really long fence up to his farm, huge ass sign that says Trump 2020, make America great again. He spent a whole weekend making the sign. He's not taking it down. I'm surrounded by those people. They're not bad people. They're just people. And they've been propagandized just like most other people, just like the shit libs who like to hate follow. They are just mad at the wrong people and the wrong things. And are they casually racist at times? Absolutely. Will I call that out every single time I see it? Absolutely. But for the most part, they are just trying to feed their families and survive, and they're going to work. And the guy that works at my favorite gas station always talks to me about college football. Trump voter. He's not a bad guy. He's kind of a douche and a little too flirty, but he's just a dude. You know what I mean? And that it's ridiculous to just completely turn your back on 75 million people. And then there are the people who say, oh, well, forget about going after Trump voters. We need to go after non-voters. You guys do realize that a significant portion of those are probably right-leaning people as well, right? Because you're going to have to talk to those people too, if that's your plan.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're just going to fucking stay at their homes. They're going to telecommute. They're going to fucking wear a mask in the shower, and they're going to fucking hate everyone. That doesn't do exactly what they do.
Smugly in their safe space.
Yeah. And
it's really sad.
They're going to preach at people about how they're vegan and then go do a bunch of blow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
While ignoring, another drone attack on Syria that kills another bus full of kids or something.
Lashing out at people standing up for press freedom.
Yeah. Calling people who defend press freedom fascists.
Yeah.
Because we all know how much fascists love the person of it. Yeah. That's what's amazing to me. The hypocrisy and the gaslighting. They try to pretend I can't tell you the number of times I've been called a fash adjacent, Nazi collaborator, Nazi enabler. I'm really, you guys? You are the people who voted for Joe Biden.
Right.
Captain Crime Bill, the Iraq War guy.
Let's not forget, help Barack Obama orchestrate an illegal coup of the Ukrainian government so they could install literal Nazis.
literal Nazis. You are literally supporting a Nazi enabler. But I'm the asshole. Fuck off. The infantile level of thinking is, and it's like constant tantrums.
Pushing the Great Reset.
Yeah.
The Great Reset, if you remember, is the second part of a title of a book written by Klaus Schwab, the chairman of the World Economic Forum. The first part of that book was COVID-19 and the Great Reset. That's the book that the chairman of the World Economic Forum wrote. Klaus Schwab, by the way.
We can bitch about Klaus Schwab because he's
funny thing. So Klaus Schwab, he took over what was the company Escher Weiss, where his Papa worked. Und Papa was a Nazi. You see, Escher Weiss was awarded the National Socialist. Oh God, what was it, dude? Model Company Award. The Model Company, National Socialist Model Company. For Papa's company. So Papa was a Nazi, yeah. And Klaus, remember Klaus? Klaus, when he got to the company, they helped sell components for nuclear reactors to apartheid South Africa illegally. Klaus, Nazi, yeah. And when we have an entire like narrative management sphere around celebrities and influencers and blue checks and that kind of shit, who are, you know, pushing the exact narratives that Klaus writes about in COVID-19 and the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution. They're quite literally helping a Nazi. But if I talk to fucking, you know, Danny from the water company,
you're a fascist.
Yeah.
It's
even though
so
he's
painful.
My neighbor and our kids go to school together and I have to see him and interact with him every day, I shouldn't do that because of who he voted for or what he thinks politically. Weird.
Yeah, well, this dude says we're attacking a straw man because most everybody who's a leftist or liberal works alongside conservatives on a daily basis. Exactly, you do.
Yeah,
you absolutely do.
The point.
That's the fucking point. That was the whole fucking point. We're not attacking a straw man. That's the point. Is that you know, you want to attack us for talking to Magnus or whatever. You could work next to Magnus, like, and you would not know that you could just have a job with him, and you could have a perfectly civil relationship with him and have conversations, and it would be fine. But because you happen to know that he associates with a kind of weird group that is really not even that old. It's only been around for a couple years, very decentralized. And he just happens to, but you're going to label him as just irredeemable because but you could work next to him. Like, that's the fucking point, is that these are just normal everyday people. Again, some of them have some.
And by the way, there's a big difference between working next to someone in your coffee shop, on a job site, at a plant, you know, because that's where you work, and the thing you do is sell coffee, or, you know, build car parts, or you know, assemble whatever, or you know, work on houses. There's a difference between that and AOC working with Matt Gaetz to help provide extra protections to the CIA.
Yes, there's a huge difference there. Like, it's fine for AOC to cuddle up next to, but Steve, she's just playing the game. That she has to do that because that's just, no, she fucking doesn't.
Genocide along the way.
It's fine.
What you're really after is an end user punishing carbon tax without addressing the military and enriching all of the people who destroyed the planet, who would now like to hijack what's left of it and ransom the thought of having an experience in it back to us while we eat bugs and like it.
you will have nothing. Oh, but yeah, that whole thing about justifying AOC gaslighting for Joe Biden, like pretend she came out and said he exceeded expectations, and they're all like, "Oh my God, she's totally right." Like it's yes, Queen, really? No, no, no. Are you kidding me? That's okay with you?
Those concentration camps, plastic instead of chain link now.
Right, that's fair.
And
they had some decorations too.
Instead of I'm gonna guess just the Bible that would be on the little cots during the Trump administration. They now get that book that like
they actually don't. I guess that was debunked.
Aw,
maybe.
That's
but
a shame.
The fact that that's like totally something believable, huh?
What are they gonna read?
I think Chelsea Clinton has a kids book out.
Harris is.
Yeah, Chelsea Clinton has a kids book out. I'm sure they could get her. I'm sure they could get that one instead. But yeah, I mean, really, she goes from calling it a concentration camp to overflow facility, and you're gonna like, that's okay with you, but me talking to Magnus is just a step too far. Fuck off! Like that doesn't even make any sense.
Little dick energy. It's little dick energy.
Minuscule.
It really is, dude. Like it's fucking sad. It's sad that that's what gets fucking like promulgated too. But
like, get a better job. I get that you're getting paid to be like a useless troll, but don't you feel bad about yourself? Because I would feel bad about myself if that was how I was making a living. I would not feel good about that at all. I really I
punched down on behalf of sociopaths and pedophiles for money.
Oh my God, that's so accurate. Yes. Yeah. I punched down with no money, no power. You're punching down on just regular ass people.
On behalf of sociopaths and pedophiles. Congratulations.
Literal and don't even give me that. That's a conspiracy thing. Really? How many times do people got to fly on Jeffrey Epstein's plane before you get a clue? Homies, come on.
Right.
They're pedophiles and they're freaks and they're absolutely psychopaths and they're warmongers, like and war criminals. And that's what you're doing with your life.
Well, and the thing is, because they come from
I hope it pays well.
That are ran by people with fucking all this little dick energy, they never get exposed to any actual information because you're not allowed to talk about anything on those particular fucking platforms. If you bring up anything real, you have to mock it unless you want to lose your channel. Now, there is something that I saw that I did think was kind of shitty. There was a dude who has a big show who went on a friend of mine's show as a much smaller channel. And the dude like flat the fuck won't talk about a number of things and got on my friend's show and like said all the words that are supposed to get your video yanked and your channel yanked. For cred.
Yeah.
And everybody saw through it. They were like, you fucking don't care if this dude loses his channel because it's a small channel and it doesn't belong to you. So you'll say shit that you know might get it taken down when you won't approach it on. And so because like I hadn't really made that connection before, I started kind of thinking about it, and that's a fairly common practice. Where you'll get people who kind of play in that, like, let's be honest, mainstream space, you know,
right?
Where I mean, it is. Mainstream media just moved to the internet. It's why I spent a number of years calling Cenk Uygur cable news on the internet guy. Like and for good or ill, a number of people come from that, mainstream space online. And they need to fucking, you know, from time to time, like reassert themselves as outsiders. So they'll go on smaller shows. But really, if you're not going to, if you're going to go on somebody else's show to be a different person, why should anybody believe anything that you say on your show?
Right.
You know, like, it's fucking crazy to me. Like, when I go on somebody's show, I'm very fucking conscious about whether or not they give a fuck about what's said on their show.
Right.
You know, like,
I do not give a fuck.
And well, I know that. I know.
I do not.
I know that. But I mean, you know, if it's somebody's livelihood and shit, you should absolutely be conscious of that. And I do a lot of radio shows and you know, I know sometimes I have to write it down or I have to like look at it on my phone. Like, don't cuss.
To not cuss.
Yeah.
So hard.
But you know, but I mean, you get used to it. And you know, because I have a relationship usually with the people whose shows I go on, you know, the people I generally end up like working with in some capacity. I don't want to wreck their ability to do their show.
Right. I cussed on Lee Camp's show and I felt so bad. Like within the first 7 seconds, Steve. And I said the word fuck too. Like, just, oh, I felt so bad. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. I felt really bad. Because, yeah, you're right. You can lose your show over that dumb shit. Because people mass report, like on Twitter. Oh, my God, the mass reporting on Twitter. Lord have mercy. Oh, a bunch of little, like, snitch tattletale babies in grade school. Mom, she was mean to me. Like, life. God, it's Twitter, for God's sake. And they mass report people for the dumbest stuff. It's like not even offensive, or, you know, it might have a cuss word in it or something, but they just don't like the person. So they'll all like find a tweet that is like they can make offensive in some way. And then like they all come and report. It's like they're a little like swarm of annoying little bees that it's just
you
so.
Only put that energy into something worthwhile.
I know. Literally anything. Like, I don't even care what it is. I don't care. Learn sign language, learn a new learn a foreign language, learn how to crochet, man. Do something. Really. Oh, it is so sad. I feel like I have been making a conscious effort to not talk about them at all because I don't feel like they are worthy of like time or energy or attention. But I'm glad that we did this actually, because I feel better. It's good to get it off my chest. I've been dealing with these fuckwads for such a long time, you guys. Some of these turds have been stalking me for over a year. And I just recently started responding. And like, I don't even really, like, I responded like to one or two of them a couple times here and there. But for the most part, I just ignore them. I've blocked some of them. They think that that's hilarious because I'm a free speech advocate, because they're too stupid to understand that blocking somebody on Twitter is not censoring them. They're still free to say whatever the fuck they want. I'm just free to not see them or pay attention to them. They're not worth my time or energy. So yeah. Yeah, but I ignore them because it's really just pathetic. I honestly, it's like a lot of pity, to be honest. Like I'm not mad, like that it's annoying, but like, I just don't care what they think. So it's just annoying. And I honestly just pity them. I can't imagine that being how I go about my day and my life and how I spend my time. All for a bunch of.
Speaking of which, how's the billboard thing going today?
Awesome, but we need to have a meeting.
Okay.
Because I just seriously, you know how I am. I'm a spaz. So like in my head, I'm like, I want to make sure we get like the right picture. And I want to make sure that we're making like the right decision on location. I don't know if we should do, because technically we have enough that we could either do two separate. I'm sorry, this is probably boring for everybody, but just like for full transparency, this is where we're at. So we technically have enough that we could do 2 separate billboards in different locations, or we could just do one in like a really good location. But I need to crunch the numbers because like each location has like an estimate on how many cars pass that spot every day. So I need to see which would be more beneficial, which would get more eyes on it. And then like, I really just need help picking out like the right image. Cause I want to make sure that it's kind of targeted to where we're at. I mean, being on 270 in Columbus, it's like Columbus proper is very neoliberal. But 270, you're going to get just people from all over central Ohio, people traveling through Ohio. So there's just a lot to think about. And I just feel like it's a lot of pressure for me to be making all those decisions.
Cool. Well, yeah, no, pick a day and a time.
Yeah. So I've made phone calls. Like I have contacts at different companies. So yeah, I have like a list of stuff that I want to like go through with some people. And again, I don't want a bunch of cooks in the kitchen.
Would it be, well, how about this? How about a billboard and a mobile van for like a week?
Okay. Well, yeah, we just have to price that out or like just figure out. Yeah. Cause again, these are just decisions that, and I don't want, and no offense to anybody, I don't want like everybody swarming me with ideas because that just overwhelms me. There are going to be people who think that we should have done a different picture or a different location, and that's fine. Like you can disagree with us, but if we have too many people trying to have their say, it gets very convoluted and confusing, and I already have a hard time with that stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's like certain people that I would like to get opinions from. Honestly, I would like to DM Stella and see if she has any thoughts.
I'd honestly, I mean, it sounds like she's got a lot on her plate right now.
Yeah, but I just don't like, I feel bad doing so. You're right. I probably shouldn't bother her with it. But Bean, we can talk to Bean. Bean has offered to design something for us from scratch or modify something that they've already done. So yeah, there's just a lot of like the detail-y stuff that we just need to figure out, and then I can get everything finalized and done. So yeah, I would say within like the next, I think we're probably not going to be able to get it up by May. So maybe
that's, I mean,
but it's not all of them start on the first of the month. So different companies have different like timetables or different billboards too.
Right.
So yeah, we'll just have to figure, seriously, and we're probably boring the shit out of people. It's like,
I'm getting an echo. I don't know.
It's probably me. My shit sucks.
Oh goddamn.
Did you lose your train of thought again?
No, we're trying to figure out what the next like couple events we're going to be and we're going to look like, and we've got
barely hear you, Steve. Closer to Mike.
Okay, I didn't want the fucking echo. It was.
Is it gone? I moved back.
It's because your shit's directional, so it wasn't picking it up because it was going to the side.
Right. No, but the echo was killing me. No, at any rate, it was tentative dates, like first week of June, and then 3rd and 4th of July, because July 3rd is Julian's birthday.
Did you know his dad's coming to the States in May?
No.
Yeah, so I think it's May 17th. I think I want to say it's Brisbane. It's the home run for Assange thing, that tour that he's kind of been on. So he's going to be in, I know he's visiting New York, DC, and California. Okay. And I think it's after May 17th. I think they're supposed to get in the States on the 18th, but I don't have like a schedule yet. Like we've been trying, Paula and I have been working on it, trying to get in contact with somebody that knows their schedule and what they have planned, so that if we can organize some actions while he's here.
I've got Shipton's email.
Okay, then hit him up. Like hit it, because seriously, we need a schedule because that's coming up soon. I mean, that's only like.
I mean, I'll go do the LA. I'll at least cover it, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, if we could get like an action, or even just get people to like go and like support whatever he's doing.
Yeah,
because I don't know what they have planned when they're here, but I would just like to try to support them, whatever they're doing, however we can.
Okay.
I'll
email him tonight.
I'll send you the link on Twitter of where they announced it. I want to say it was Brisbane. I'm not sure.
I also have like 2 more contacts for people that are like right a part of that.
Yeah, the faster we can get a schedule, because
Okay.
Paula could do something in New York. Probably she's in Boston, so that's not so far. And there's a New York group.
Yeah.
And then I can make it to DC if I needed to. Just do like a quick 24-hour trip. I wouldn't even need to fundraise for it. I mean, if he's gonna be
how
here,
long you're there, dude. Like, I might even fly out to DC for a day.
Yeah, I mean, if that would be, I think it would be awesome to be able to support his dad when he's here for sure, if we can.
Yeah.
But that's coming up really soon, so that's. I mean, I don't know how complicated that's gonna get.
I mean, I need to get out that way anyway.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll send you the link to that on Twitter. Okay. Do we have anything else we want to bitch about? Does anybody in the chat have anything they want to bitch about?
Except for the little bitches that showed up to fucking
I'm glad they showed up though, because that honestly, I feel a lot better having got that out, because I just don't talk about it ever. So that was nice, yeah, just to get that out there.
Oh, while there's people hanging out though, tomorrow, episode 300 for Slow News Day.
Yay! Congratulations, dude.
And pop in on that if you're down and around and shit like that. We're gonna have a moderator panel. We're gonna have a bunch of random people just
what time
showing up. I don't know. Because we're either gonna start at 4.
Mute a second, Misty.
My time or 4 Pacific?
Pacific.
Sorry. Is it echoing again?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah. Do you have a headphone jack in your on your mic?
Yeah, I do. I just gotta get headphones.
Get some earbuds.
I don't have any.
Well, I mean, get some.
Yeah.
And move your mic, please.
Yeah, that works a lot better with those Yetis.
It's back as far as I can get.
It's omnidirectional. It doesn't matter.
We can wrap anyways.
But yeah, so episode 300, a whole bunch of people showing up for that. Friday, we are going to have a pilot episode of the call-in show that we've been talking about doing for goddamn ever. We got the fucking phone lines. We are ready to go. So we will be premiering episode 0 of Get Your Shit Together. That will be an advice, not therapy show. I am an
no, you're a therapist.
I am an involuntary but not licensed therapist.
Oh,
but core concept though is I have become the involuntary therapist for a lot of people in independent media. They call me and they want to work their shit out, and I'm totally I'm not trying to discourage that, dude. Like, seriously, I'm good for that. I am. And so we've been joking around about having a call-in show for a long time. Plus, somebody needs to have a legitimate one, because right now it's just Tim Black. So we're gonna do that, and I think we're gonna run right up against him too. So that'll be great. Also, I'm gonna start being a regular contributor on Aftermath FM, which is Clyde Lewis's radio network, with a listening audience of up to 3.8 million people. Pretty stoked on that. We've got Juan Passarelli coming back this Sunday. With a potential drop in by my man crush Johnny Vedmore. Sky Daddy on Tuesday. I don't even know her fucking real name, dude. Yeah.
I like having an imagination and shit too. God, man, that chick is funny, man.
Bro, I do. I want to take her on tour. I just go do a fucking Black Pill tour. It'd be great. Grab Tripoli too, and a couple of his friends. Just go do it. He already wants us to do the podcast at the dojo in LA. Live.
Did he get banned off Twitter?
Huh?
Did he get banned off Twitter?
He got yeeted.
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it took that long, honestly.
I mean, he is kind of an asshole on Twitter.
100%. He knows.
I'm an asshole on Twitter, but
he knows
he's an asshole. He puts me to shame.
On purpose. Yeah, I mean, he's going fucking. He starts deep at the paint, and he's like, "How many people can I elbow before I get thrown out of this game?" God love him, really. Like it's honestly, man. Uniformity of thought is the fate worse than death. It is. Just want to get that out there before we sign off. Straight up, uniformity of thought much worse than death.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for the
to be part of a fucking real-time human experiment with
I'm excited for the show tomorrow. Did you say 4? Is that 4 my time or 4 your time?
For our time,
so 7
maybe 5. Because here's the thing, I know it's going to go 3 hours. I know it is. Too many people are showing up, and we have a 5-hour show for news. Oh no, I mean, like, it's what it's there for. But like I said, I know it's going to go 3 hours. ABB goes from 7 our time to 9 on Thursdays. Tyler is very, like, just on it about that. Starts, goes 2 hours, stops. It's all I got time for. It's all you get. So either we opt out of ABB for that night and upload the show after the fact and go for, however long we go for, or we go 4 to 7 Pacific, so 7 to 10 Eastern. And we haven't figured out what yet. I'm gonna have to go talk to Lubers or something, figure it out.
Okay, well, just let me know.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have to stop by. Like, I just would like to watch it.
I want you. I'm not like trying to be like what I'm trying to say is I know we're not going to be able to cover everything, but like that's fine because we're also having episode 300 in a moderator panel and people coming by. It's just the things that we want to cover will hopefully formulate lots of conversation with a lot of people who are incredibly versed in the topic and all generally like each other and can riff off of each other.
Yeah, I love everybody.
So it'll like accidentally kind of be like a Union of the Unwanted style thing, just without the guest. The story, the topics themselves will effectively serve as the guest.
Yeah.
I just made that up, but it sounds good.
It does sound good. I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. I like it. I'm down with that.
I actually have a talent for that. I do.
What?
I do. I can present like what sounds to be a totally well thought out and put together plan. It's how I would like this show to go. This is what this event is. This is that kind of thing. And then it really just fell in and came out like in real time right there. But it sounds like I've been working on it.
It does. It sounds like a pitch. Like you just went in with your business model. Pretty smooth.
It's solid. It is solid. Yeah. Solid. Not as good as Deborah Gets Red Pilled, but solid.
Fair.
I love the concept of that show. I really do.
Dude, I love the fact that guy's made a podcast out of trolling his mother-in-law.
For real. He did. He legit made a podcast out of breaking his mother-in-law's brain. If you haven't seen the show, Deborah Gets Red Pilled is this guy, Adam, and his mother-in-law, Deborah. And Deborah is like a Silicon Valley neoliberal. And Adam is like
breaking her brain.
Yeah, well, he's also bringing on all kinds of heavy hitters, and almost all of them are from like the libertarian, like right-ish to ANCAP space. And when I get to talk to those guys again, I am definitely going to go all in on anarcho-capitalism. Because I don't even know how you can say that with a fucking straight face.
Right.
But the show is a concept.
It's like anarcho-Bidenism. Just come on.
Which is basically anarcho-capitalism,
Right.
only you're also fucking children.
Right.
And there's
That's
more
all.
bombs, I think.
Is there?
I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like
we-
we've ever had like an ANCAP as a president. We've had fascists, and we've had like neo-fascists, and we've had fucking just completely disgusting shitbird racists who were like big C capitalists, always played to a small group of influential oligarchs. But that's because politics is what the oligarchs get to laugh about while you guys argue over it, while they hoard resources and again, fuck children. And this is what you're out here like trying to get more of. This system. Carry the fucking water for those fucking demons.
I propose that we rename bombs to freedom, since it's the cages thing got renamed to overflow facilities.
Oh, yeah. I was saying that
orgasms. Can we call them orgasms?
Okay.
United States military has given the Yemenis hundreds of thousands of orgasms over the last, several years. I mean, if we're gonna go for it, let's do that.
Well, but
we have the Ministry of Truth now.
We do. People don't understand how bad it is. That's another problem with these like surface level douche canoes. They really have no idea what's happening around them. They really do not know what's happening around them. They have no idea the rights that are being stripped away from them daily. And they are cheering on a descent into
intercept. Duh.
But they're like cheering on a legit descent into real fascism while calling everybody else fascists. And it's painful. God,
The Intercept is the groundbreaking magazine that just a couple of months ago came out with an article that the Iowa primary may not have in fact been legitimate.
Oh my God. Groundbreaking. Breaking news, y'all.
You know what's funny though is that the Intercept in February of last year wrote a story about Shadow Inc.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh God, the Intercept is such a joke, dude. What a depressing
farm. Remember.
Yes, we do. The Intercept is painful too. The Intercept, Democracy Now. God damn it, Democracy Now. Amy Goodman breaks my heart. Oh, damn it, dude.
The amount of shit that I've taken over the years for pointing out that the Intercept burns fucking whistleblowers like I do cannabis, it just and even now there's people that like stick up for some of the fucking shit heels that write for that goddamn honey trap.
Yeah.
How many more people need to be tortured under special administrative measures before people start to realize that like these outlets exist in order to catch the good guys? That's what they're there for.
And the Intercept is the worst. Oh, you know what I forgot to bitch about? The fucking Guardian.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to
there's still time.
Huh?
No, we don't have to, but like Matt Kennard just put out this like whole ass article about.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, no, we should take a look at it if you want.
Okay, let's take a look at it because seriously, and I just want to point out, you guys, that the Guardian is the outlet that put out the fake Paul Manafort visits Julian Assange and the Ecuadorian embassy story that is still on their website right now. If you go to their website, that article is still up. It has been thoroughly debunked. But if Steve posts a video calling out QAnon for being a psyop, he gets dinged for it. But the Guardian not only still has their platform, but they still have a completely fabricated article up on their website, and it's not a problem. Like the misinformation doesn't apply to them, apparently.
So are we going with the article about
Just pull up his tweet thread. That pretty much explains it all.
Okay.
Matt's tweet, like he threaded it out so that it kind of like, so you don't have to dig into each individual. You can if you want. I highly recommend people go because he linked to a bunch of stuff. So I highly recommend people go and check out all that stuff. But yeah, he threaded it out so that it was
this one.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, because it's the one with the signatures on it. Yeah.
Or was that the one I?
No, I think that's the one you just. Hold on.
This one.
Yeah, go down. Yeah. The I think it starts here.
Oh, it's no, it was the right one. I just started way up.
Okay.
So, an interesting fashion.
He basically exposed the campaign that the Guardian was involved in order to manufacture consent for Julian Assange being kicked out of the embassy. That's basically what this all amounts to.
Alan Duncan said the Ecuadorian government were concerned in mid-2018 about the domestic reaction in Ecuador to rescinding Assange's asylum, and this was delaying them from taking the final steps. May 2018, the Guardian began an apparent campaign with 10 articles on Operation Hotel, Ecuador's embassy operation for Assange, authored by 3 people and 2 Ecuadorian journalists. The main article was based on documents seen by the Guardian and anonymous sources. Not clear who leaked the documents or who the sources were, but it's possible it was the Ecuadorian intelligence apparatus trying to smear Assange to prepare the conditions domestically and internationally for his eviction.
Here he's linking to different articles where it shows where they like ran consecutive stories trying to tie him to Russia or the Kremlin, like basically just trying to smear him in order to make it easier for Ecuador to justify rescinding his citizenship.
Fucking Luke Harding,
giant piece of shit, like giant piece. Dude is such a scumbag. He completely fabricated that story. And I do have to give him credit though. There's a passage in that where he like gives Manafort a whole ass outfit, like pastel colored shirt and sandy colored chinos, and yeah, makes me giggle.
Dude. Yeah.
So this talks about how all of the stuff that was tying Manafort to Julian Assange like caused a bunch of chaos in the States, which is what prompted Dianne Feinstein and a bunch of other douche canoes to sign a letter asking for Pompeo to meet with Ecuadorian officials to talk about them giving up Julian Assange. So this whole, like, you know, them trashing and smearing Julian Assange was for the entire explicit purpose of manufacturing consent for him to be able, one, for Ecuador to feel justified and being able to rationalize stripping him of his citizenship that he was given and allowing UK authorities to come in to their embassy and yank Julian Assange out. But then it also it was also so that the United States could have cover for going after him, because, you know, everybody hated Paul Manafort at the time. You know, shitlibs really hate Paul Manafort. It's a huge part of the obstacle that we have to overcome when we're doing advocacy for Julian Assange, because they have, you know, tried to paint him as this Russian asset or this guy that helped Trump or whatever. And it's all bullshit. But it was a very effective manner in which they made people hate Julian Assange. Conservatives already kind of hated him because of the Bush leaks, because of the Iraq war logs and all of that stuff. And so then they come along and they are able to tie him to Russiagate and the bullshit Russia connection. And so now the shitlibs hate him too. And so they've just manufactured consent for yanking him out of the Ecuadorian embassy and throwing him in a supermax prison, and is now facing 175 years in prison.
Well, and the most hawkish, surveillance state-friendly Democrats signed that letter, which again relied on misinformation, disinformation, and outright lies in order to push that narrative, get that letter sent.
Luke Harding is a giant, dude has completely turned his back on he's not a journalist. Like, you don't get to call you've just betrayed journalism.
If he ever was to begin with. Because when they partnered him with David Lee, and they wrote a fictionalized biography of Julian Assange. They also released the second half of the password that would give people access to the unredacted Cablegate file.
Yes, which Julian Assange spent days on the phone trying to warn the U.S. State Department was going to happen through no fault of his or through WikiLeaks. It was because of Luke Harding.
And to this day, both Cryptome and Pirate Bay have the unredacted copies up.
Yep.
Nothing,
and that's thanks to Luke Harding.
I don't want anything to happen to them. I don't.
Nope.
I don't. Let's have consistency. That's what I'm asking for.
No. Are you saying you don't think Luke Harding should be in trouble?
Huh?
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? You don't. Yeah,
I'm not saying don't to let Pirate Bay and Cryptome keep their shit up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, those should stay. Yeah, but like it's unbelievable the way that other journalists have completely turned their backs on Julian Assange. They're happy to use his work for personal benefit and for career gains. But they have all completely turned their backs on him. They never mention him. When they do, it's to smear him, slander him, misinform people, spread propaganda. It's very rare that a journalist in the US, at least, will come to his defense. And it's really disgusting. And it really tells you how bad the state of journalism is in this country. I mean, it's bad. I think that mainstream media right now is one of the biggest threats that we face. It's incredibly dangerous and very pervasive. They're very good at what they do. The propaganda is extremely sophisticated, and people buy into it all the time, every day. And that's not good. That's the big thing that we're going to have to fight.
Well, and I would pose that in addition to legacy media, the fucking just bullshit fucking narrative management factories that exist in the independent space, not just in the quasi or neo-progressive or whatever you want to call that shit, fucking shit libs with training wheels, all of them, really. Not just that space, but in in the middle, on the right, all that shit. When you see a media outlet that has a specific fucking federal and state level political agenda that they're trying to push and achieve, and they're essentially operating as a voluntary fundraising mechanism for candidates of a particular fucking ideology, but always in that system with nobody addressing the fundamental problems of the system. Run!
Yes.
Well, fuck away from that shit. Dude, I didn't know who that fucking Destiny
I didn't either.
was.
I didn't either.
All. And the day before that
idiot.
somebody dropped the live stream of Professor Richard Wolff panning that little kid's hide.
Very
Know
calmly.
what was going on. He had no idea. But I'm like, who the fuck is that? Why does he sound like a shit lib Ben Shapiro? And then when I saw that panel, I understood he is the shit lib Ben Shapiro. It's his job to get people just coming into politics to think that this is how the shit's supposed to work. And then the only way they go from there is in like one of these little subcategories of like purity leftist there where nobody talks to each other if they don't think lockstep. And that dude says all State Department talking points and then a whole lot of nothing around it, filled up so much space with so many words without saying a goddamn fucking thing. And I totally understand now why people have no idea what the fuck is going on or how their government really works or who really runs it and why. Like, I get it now. I get it.
That's what I'm saying. The propaganda, the fight that we have against the narrative control is, like, to me, that's one of the most dangerous things that we face, because you're right. It's on all levels. It's not just mainstream media. Like, there are people in alternative spaces who are definitely playing their role, and they're definitely there for a reason. Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them. Suck.
Yeah. It's a problem. And I don't know how we fight back against that. I honestly don't, because it's so pervasive.
We do what we're doing. We expand our networks. We fucking, continue to build out MCSE, and we continue to approach this media thing from a place of activism.
Yes.
And we don't stop staying in the streets, even though I agree with bros, we need to do more, which is why we've
talked about that. We got to start getting creative.
Documenting how to build tiny homes or cabins or both. I'm going to be showing people how to fucking run a passive solar setup that will run your entire cabin.
We need to do shows on gardening. We need to do, we need to get a bunch of people.
Thoughts on that, because I honestly don't know how long we're really going to be able to do it. So I want to be able to encourage like how to establish a permaculture thing, but we're really gonna have to be careful with that and really consider it with how we approach it, because I don't know how long we really get to grow food outdoors. And so with that in mind, I don't want to teach people how to set up a permaculture grow that really takes 7 years to establish. If that's not how much time we have, because then I'm completely fucking wasting their time and energy and resources. So I would there's basic things that we can do that we certainly have, time for and shit like that in terms of temperature and whatnot, but
but we also need to talk about mutual aid. We need to have that's why we want to do a whole series on facts on the ground, with just have different people come from mutual aid groups and talk about their experience in working with a mutual aid group.
Can we organize a mutual aid fucking conference or some shit that?
Yes, we need to. Yes. And we need to hook up with I can't remember. She changes her name on Twitter all the time, but she just started that Myco Mutual.
Right.
It's still up and coming, but it's a good idea. And it does give us a way to kind of nationalize it, sort of, at least while we can, while we're able to use the internet freely. We should be able to, because that will help just get people connected. Kind of like what I do on Twitter with the Assange stuff, just reaching out to people and connecting people in their own areas so that we can all.
It's the mutual aid that's going to be so critical, because realistically, there are a growing number of people who want to opt out of this technocratic panopticon. They don't want to be a part of a techno-fascist state. And so they're fucking, while they can, pooling some resources, getting a little bit of land, and working on trying to build out a community. And it's going to be mutual aid networks that allow for these communities not just to be, but to be sustainable, and to continue to be inclusive and to grow. It is top three, of what you want to have handled going in.
Yes.
Before you exodus like that.
Well, there's a lot of talk about general
you're really
strikes.
good at living off of fucking next to nothing, and you plan on being close enough to having enough neighbors that you can hopefully get in good with relatively quickly.
Yeah, you need to talk to your neighbors, fams. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk about general strike, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about the mutual aid that's going to be needed to keep that. If you want to have any kind of successful, sustained general strike, and you're not talking about mutual aid, you're putting the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse. 100%. Like, you need to stop, take a step back, and focus on some mutual aid, figuring out some networking ideas, figuring out how to, because people who are going to go on general strike are going to need to eat. And they're going to need to like go to the doctor if they get sick, or if somebody gets hurt or whatever. Those are things we need to think about. Like, you can't just start, general strike. Yes. Okay. I'm down for a general strike. Let's fucking do that. But we need to be prepared for it. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to get hurt. And that's not good. We got to be smart. We have to be smart. Like, we have to start thinking ahead, and not thinking that everything is, there's just a lot of focus on some dumbass shit, man. Some dumbass shit. Electoral politics, focusing on, I mean, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and just say, okay, if you want to run for something and you think you can make an impact or whatever, you go. But to me, it's just a ginormous waste of time. Like, I just have no time or patience anymore for electoral politics. It's not going to be a change maker. I mean,
but you have 5 farmable acres and you can grow food for like 40 people there if you know, put like at minimum, and like there's shit that you can do that will actually benefit your community.
Yeah. And that's where I focus my energy. I just wish more people would do it,
Well, if more people did it, then we could understand the concept of community, and we could start to broaden what community means in terms of establishing mutual aid networks. And before you know it, we have decentralized autonomous communities that exist on the basis of fucking mutual aid. And we have ascended as people.
Yeah, let's hope for that. I don't know if we're headed that direction, but let's hope for that. Christ. Things are really bad right now. And that's the thing that bums me out the most, is that people just have no idea how bad it actually is.
Or have any interest in finding out.
They're really comfortable just, throwing tantrums on Twitter and, catching the next episode of The Bachelor, and, cheerleading for, politicians.
And they need to be dirt ass poor for a couple of years. They'll give them some fucking perspective.
I'm not dirt ass poor, and I get it. Why can't other people get it?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these people that, like,
because for an absolute asshole, you have a lot of empathy.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, the asshole is cover for the fact that I have too much empathy, and so I have to try to, put on a shell. So. Yeah, but I do have
jokes. It would just be screaming.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's where the snark comes from. That's where the sarcasm comes from. It comes from just being unbelievably frustrated and sad and depressed that the American populace has allowed themselves to get beaten down to the point where we are. It's just really sad to me, and it sucks, and I don't know how to fix it. And then I get frustrated because I don't know how to fix it, even though I know I'm just like some chick in Ohio, and obviously I don't have the power to fix it, even if I knew how. So
I don't have all the answers of how to make things perfect. I don't have all the answers for what happens after we put to a halt a system designed to kill us. I know that figuring it out, that ability, that's a worthwhile goal to fight for.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not afraid to talk to people I don't agree with.
Forward. I know that we can't continue to live under the system if we want anything even remotely approaching a sustainable planet.
Or just like a civilized society. This is not, this is not okay. The amount of suffering that's going on, needless suffering. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Rich people don't need to hoard all the wealth. it doesn't have to be that way. It could be changed. And it's really ridiculous to me that it seems like extreme or, like what, no, like, what, grown-ups shouldn't blow people up to solve their problems, and rich people don't need to hoard all the wealth. And, you're what's keeping this country running, like the working class and just the people of this country, like you deserve better. Like, Bill Gates doesn't deserve billions and billions of dollars. And, Jeff Bezos doesn't deserve to be a trillionaire. That's ridiculous. He's just one dude. Like and then his employees starve. No, it shouldn't be that way. And the fact that we've allowed it to get to this point where it is that way, and then we celebrate it, it's really fucking weird to me, dude. It's really fucking weird to me. I don't understand how you can look around and be like, yeah, I'm fine with my neighbor starving as long as, because Jeff Bezos gets to have another yacht or whatever. That's fucked up. I don't know what kind of mentality that takes.
I'm fine with my neighbor starving as long as, what's his name? Fucking Raytheon dude, Lloyd.
Oh, Lloyd Austin?
Austin, that's right. As long as he gets to be secretary of
inclusivity, Steve. Yeah. We need inclusive imperialism. It makes it all better. It solves all the problems. I don't know if you heard, but we defeated fascism and we cured racism.
You need to see the intersectionality in my fascism. That's what I need. And then I know that we've won.
Representation, fans. That's all that it takes. That's all that it takes.
Optics is all that it takes. People have decided that optics are the best you're gonna fucking get. Yeah. And then they have the temerity to bitch at us for trying to do something better about it. Fuck you.
Yeah, people tell me I have to oh, aren't you happy that there's a female vice president and give your daughter somebody to look up to? Fuck no. If my kids were looking up to Kamala Harris, I would feel like I failed as a parent. That's no role model. Are you kidding me? No, that's ridiculous. Stop that. That's so dumb. That is so dumb. She's trash. Straight up. Like there's no. Nope. That's not a role model I want for my kids ever. So yeah, that's not good enough. It doesn't matter that it's just a woman. I'd much rather it be a woman with some integrity, humanity, compassion, direction, leadership.
If you want your kid to be a sociopath, tell your kid to model themselves after a sociopath.
Yeah.
Sure, but know what you're doing going in.
I feel like that's bad parenting. I'm just going to put that out there.
I mean, I don't agree with that particular style.
I don't like to criticize people's methods of parenting.
Put a lot of children in a lot of powerful places. But I also don't agree with the structure of power as it is. I also think all of our isms have failed. Sorry if you have a hammer and sickle in your Twitter bio. You're not really a commie anyway. But all of our isms have failed us.
Yeah. No isms got it all right. Nope, none of them. Not a one of them.
Well, and none of them have had a chance to really take root other than more, some state capitalism called communism. That's happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some successful worker co-ops here and there occasionally. Cool, something to think about after we dismantle the system designed to kill us.
Yes, and that's, again, I'm going to say it again, we can't have any of those conversations until we destroy the system that's designed to kill us. I mean, can we start there? Can we just start there? And then you guys can fight all you want. I don't give a shit.
And that starts with recognizing that Congress is the public relations firm for America's oligarchs, and that the national security state determines how the laws get made and how they get applied. And we need to remember that 40% of the fucking country lives in a constitution-free zone, which is the 100-mile out from any point around the U.S. border. Constitution doesn't apply. It doesn't. You can get semblances of court wins from time to time, But if it really comes down to it, and you need to get disappeared, and you're within that 100-mile area, you don't have any constitutional rights. You don't.
We
You
don't really
barely have
anyway.
them when you get inside of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It really doesn't matter. If they want you gone, you're gone.
And if rights can be removed with the stroke of a pen, were they really rights in the first place? Or was that clever marketing?
Yeah.
What does inalienable mean to you? What does it mean? I mean, I don't think about shit like that instead of why you need to hate stalk a Twitter account.
Yeah.
Especially
hate
this is
stalking
why I
Twitter
don't
accounts
ever
that
go
are
to any of those conferences where they have like team
panels.
sport panels.
Yeah.
Like that's I have been asked to like go to a couple of different ones, and I'm gonna start saying yes to that now. I turned a few down in 2019, and I'm kicking myself for that. But the team sport ones, no.
Yeah, I have no desire for that. Like, I don't understand that mentality. I don't understand that undying loyalty to a party or a team that doesn't give a shit about you. Like, no, it doesn't matter how hard you cheerlead. Doesn't matter how far up your ass or their ass you want to stick your head, or I don't care if you deep throat that boot. They don't care.
But remember, you're just supposed to lick the boot. You are not supposed to.
But we got people out there full on deep throating that shit and not getting a damn thing for it. And you might want to rethink your life choices if you find yourself in that position. For real. Anyways, I guess we should sign off and let Sleepy get out of here. I know he works all the time. My dude's always doing something.
It's true.
So yeah, it is. Go look at Sleepy's Twitter page. It's at abortu, ABORTU. He has that buy me a coffee thing. You should go check that out and hook up Sleepy Josh if you can. Throw him like $5. Because he does do a lot of work. And Poikonen, where do you want to tell them all your shit or whatever?
Yeah, I do. And we've got a lot of really cool things happening. We got a lot of really cool things coming up. Big moves ahead. Some relocation going on. I will hopefully be kidnapping Sleepy Josh at some point and delivering him in a cabin that I've put up there for him and introducing him to the large studio that is being built or will be built. But like really cool shit going on in that sphere. Starting next Wednesday for I don't know a while at least. I'll be on Aftermath FM, a show called Into the Microcosm. They're calling it What the Fuck Wednesday. Should be fun. Our call-in show.
I'm excited. Mindy Moneybags likes to make phone calls.
Get your shit together. We'll premiere Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. East Coast. Late night call-in show. That's right. Lines are open.
It's ridiculous.
Ain't it though? Ain't it? Oh, don't you?
For ridiculous people
sleeping. Love it a little bit though, just a little bit.
I like the ridiculousness of it, but that's me.
You're in the ether, and I'm listening. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Anyway, dude, do you have anything else you want to plug?
So tomorrow, 300th episode. There will be an actual time set shortly. We're really gonna actually figure that out quickly. And then Friday call-in show. Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Juan Passarelli will be in the house. I love me some Juan.
I love Juan.
Possible drop-in by Johnny Vedmore. Monday, no, not Monday. Oh, Monday, Union of the Unwanted. And then Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. for me, 1 p.m. on the East Coast, Sky Daddy will be joining the show for the first time.
I love her.
That will be a whole bunch of fun. Really looking forward to that.
She's feisty.
Yeah.
like
talk to Mark Steves from My Family Thinks I'm Crazy next week. We got a bunch of good stuff going on. Yeah. SlowNewsDayShow.com, rockfan.com/SlowNewsDay.
Rockfan.
Go do that. Go
Yeah.
do the
Go to Rockfan, go to Odyssey, go to all get it
we're
everywhere.
gonna start streaming on Odyssey tomorrow too for the first time, and we'll be pushing Odyssey as well, because there are people who flat out don't want to go to Rockfin
Which I
because
get.
there's premium content, period. And then also the chat sucks, and apparently that is going to be worked on. There was something they had to take care of immediately first, but I'm actually going to start going to those meetings now.
Cool. You sure you remembered everything? That's a lot of shit, dude.
No, I did. Anonymous White's back.
Yeah, I think you got everything. I mean, it's not like people don't know where to find you.
Right.
The only thing I have to tell you guys.
Twitter.
Oh yeah. The only thing I have to tell you guys before we bounce out of here is make sure you check out the GoFundMe for the billboards. That's still going. I bumped it up to 5K because I figure we can just roll with it. And if we can get billboards in different states across the country, the Midwest is really cheap. I don't know if you live in a state that you can get like a good location billboard. If you guys want to help with this and like make phone calls in your area, that would be super helpful. Like, and just send me the information so we can kind of gauge where we want to go from there. Because I'd love to get multiples up across the country if we can. That would be awesome. So yeah, and then other than that, on Facts on the Ground, we just started today a series with Daniel Jajic. And we're trying to dive into the history of Palestine and Israel, trying to look at it from like a historical perspective. Today we kind of started with like the birth of Zionism and where that whole ideology came from, and, you know, Theodore Herzl and all that stuff. So that should be posted today. I don't know, Jesse may have it up already. I haven't checked in a while. So that's going to be like an ongoing series because there's obviously a lot to dive into on Palestine, Israel. So today we did like an hour and a half ish, just kind of getting like the base of like the history. And then we're going to kind of dive into the mess that is Palestine, Israel, and all that, you know, terrible, horrible stuff, which kind of sucks to talk about, but it's definitely interesting. And I think a lot of people are not necessarily aware of the history that goes along with what's going on today. So yeah, just look for that. Check that out. Make sure you check out Sleepy Josh's Buy Me a Coffee thingy-majiggy. And I think that's it. Yeah, I guess we'll just see you guys next week, Wednesday at 7. And hit me up on Twitter. You guys know where to find me. Anyway, I'm so awkward at this, like, closing out shit. Just fucking black me out. Like, just, you know, piece me out, Sleepy.
I need to.
It's been a bitch.
What?
It's been a bitch.
I've been a bitch.
It's been a bitch.
I've been a bitch. It's all right.